Taurus, as June begins, something you planted long ago is finally pressing toward the surface. Before the first green shoot rises through the soil, before the world can recognize what you've been building, the roots have already taken hold beneath your feet. What you created in silence has been reinforced in ways no one else could fully see yet. And now, the universe is asking only one thing from you. Loosen your grip a little and allow yourself to trust what is already settling into place. A real financial shift is forming now, steady and tangible, like stone being lowered carefully into the earth. This is not luck passing through your hands, and it is not arriving late. It carries the weight of something lasting, something built to remain. The strongest structures often reveal themselves when the builder finally exhales and lets the body rest. You did not arrive at this message by coincidence. Taurus energy does not drift without purpose, because your spirit has always been guided by what is solid, loyal, and real. Something inside you recognized this moment before your mind could fully explain it, and that quiet knowing is what brought you here today. Even now, just beyond what you can currently see, life is shifting in your favor with a force that feels grounded, heavy, and unmistakably real. You can sense it in the exhaustion that has settled into your normally steady spirit. Lately, the need for peace has felt deeper than simple sleep, almost like your whole body has been asking for restoration after carrying too much for too long. This is the space between labor and arrival, the moment where the hard seasons begin giving way to something softer. The work of forcing and proving is easing now, while the universe strengthens the foundation you already poured your energy into. You endured tests that demanded quiet resilience instead of applause. Beneath your calm surface, there were moments when you held everything together for others, while your own ground felt unsteady. You stayed loyal when you were undervalued, and you kept planting hope into dry seasons, even when nothing seemed ready to bloom. Taurus, none of that devotion went unseen, even during the times the world judged your pace or questioned your refusal to abandon what mattered to you. Every stone you placed was noticed. Your consistency carried more power than anyone realized, and your worth was never dependent on how quickly you moved. Now the season is shifting, and you are no longer being asked to push harder to earn what belongs to you. You are being invited to soften into it, to stop forcing every flower open with effort and begin trusting the timing of the garden itself. This next chapter does not arrive through exhaustion, it arrives through value. Your nervous system may still feel uncertain around ease because you became so accustomed to preparing for impact, protecting what little you had, and staying ready for struggle. But you are not unsupported anymore, and the heaviness you feel is not failure or stagnation. It is the deep rooting that happens before growth becomes visible above ground. What is happening now is preparing you to hold more without fear. The constant pressure to survive is slowly leaving your body, while your capacity for peace, pleasure, and stability expands. If you've been craving solitude lately, wanting to refresh your space, open the windows, surround yourself with softness, or rest in ways sleep alone cannot fix. It does not mean you are becoming lazy. It means something inside you is recalibrating toward receiving instead of constantly chasing. Your energy is learning how to attract rather than strain. You are beginning to understand what it feels like to sit in your own worth without needing to prove it through endless labor. What is approaching requires you to think like the owner, not the exhausted worker still carrying everything alone. So if you are here right now, do not dismiss the relief that moved through you when this message found you. This message arrived as confirmation for everything you've already carried and built. Stay with me through the rest of this video, because what's unfolding here reaches beyond money alone. This is about security, the restoration of value, and returning to the kind of grounded joy your spirit has missed after spending so long in survival mode. Take a deep breath. Taurus, The ground beneath you is steadier now than it has been in a long time. Debts are beginning to loosen their grip. Your value is finally being recognized, and the comfort that once felt distant is returning in a way you can actually hold and experience. What was delayed is moving back toward you with weight, warmth, and permanence. If you can feel even the slightest stirring of this truth somewhere deep in your chest, I want you to comment below and say, "I am open to my harvest." Let those words become your first gesture of receiving instead of striving. Beneath the surface, doors have already started opening in ways your eyes cannot fully measure yet. Stay with me through the rest of this message, because what is taking shape now reaches far beyond money alone. This is about rebuilding your sense of worth, restoring stability, and stepping into a life that finally reflects the effort you carried for so long. Every chapter of your life has quietly prepared you for this moment. The patience you practiced, the standards you refused to lower, and the seasons when you stood alone rather than betray your values were never weaknesses. They became the steel beneath your foundation, shaping a character strong enough to hold something lasting. In the language of the stars, Taurus has always been tied to value, resources, and the slow creation of security that can withstand time. This season is proof that your perseverance was seen. What once looked like slow progress was actually deep root work taking place beneath the surface, forming stability while others chased quick results that could not last. The world may have measured you by speed or flexibility, but something greater was watching the integrity of what you were building. Your standards were never excessive. They were simply ahead of environments that could not yet recognize their worth. This is not random luck arriving overnight. It is the natural accumulation that comes from consistency, faithfulness, and refusing to abandon what mattered to you. The wealth entering your life now carries the energy of compound growth, the kind that develops slowly and becomes impossible to shake loose once established. What tested your patience was also preparing your legacy, and what others called stubbornness was often quiet devotion to something real. The scales are shifting now in your favor. You are not simply being rewarded for working hard, you are being restored for staying grounded in a world that constantly pressured you to compromise yourself. There was something sacred in the way you kept caring for others even when your own reserves felt low, the way you continued offering steadiness during uncertain seasons. Those choices carried value far beyond what anyone could see at the time. These were never just survival habits. They became spiritual investments, and now they are beginning to mature into something solid and lasting. That is why the movement happening around you feels slow, deep, and heavy, instead of chaotic or rushed. What is arriving is too meaningful to be thrown carelessly into your life. It needs to settle gently into the structure you've built, so it can remain without fear, panic, or the need to cling too tightly. This is why relaxation matters so much in this season. For you, rest is not weakness or laziness. It is trust taking physical form. It is the quiet confidence that what is truly meant for you does not disappear the moment you loosen your grip. Even during times when your effort was not reflected in your finances, your belief in something tangible ahead kept you anchored through the uncertainty. And now, what once existed only as a possibility is beginning to take shape as something real. You are no longer being asked to endlessly work the soil with exhausted hands. Taurus, you are no longer being asked to keep working the field with exhausted hands. You are being invited to prepare the table because this next chapter arrives less like a battle and more like a meal finally ready to be shared. What comes toward you now carries the weight of something real and lasting, not another promise floating just out of reach. The consistency you carried through every difficult season was recognized long before the results became visible in your outer life. Your loyalty mattered. Your endurance mattered. You are not stepping into this season because you rushed ahead of everyone else, but because you remained steady when it would have been easier to give up. So let your body soften a little now. Release the tension from your jaw, loosen your grip, and allow yourself to believe that what belongs to you no longer needs to be chased. The agreement has already been settled in unseen ways, and the next instruction may feel unfamiliar at first. Pause. Rest. Allow yourself to breathe without immediately searching for the next task to complete. For someone so deeply tied to stability and productivity, stillness can almost feel uncomfortable, as though slowing down means losing momentum. But this moment is not asking you to stop building your life. It is asking you to stop measuring your worth only through labor. There is a difference between abandoning purpose and finally allowing yourself to enjoy what you have created. When life begins whispering for you to relax into ease, it is not threatening your security. It is confirming that the foundation beneath you can finally hold your weight. Ease is not carelessness in this season. It is a form of inner royalty, a quiet understanding that you no longer need suffering to justify receiving good things. Rest does not delay your abundance. In many ways, it proves that your nervous system is beginning to trust the stability you worked so hard to build. A calm body, a clear mind, and a spirit no longer bracing for disaster become powerful magnets for the kind of life you once thought you had to fight endlessly to reach. This invitation into ease touches every layer of your life. Mentally, your mind has spent years acting like a planner, protector, and constant risk assessor, always calculating what could go wrong next. Now it is being asked to become softer, more like a garden than a battlefield. The voice inside you that links rest with failure must slowly lose its authority. Constant worry quietly signals distrust in the very foundation you already created. Instead of preparing yourself for collapse, begin grounding yourself in something steadier. Tell yourself firmly, I am secure, I am abundant, I am provided for. Not as a distant wish, but as a truth your body is finally learning to believe. Let those words settle into you slowly, like rain soaking deep into dry earth. Emotionally, peace may feel unfamiliar at first. There may be moments when calm itself creates anxiety because your system became so accustomed to surviving one crisis after another. Allow that feeling to move through you without giving it control. You are no longer living inside the same conditions that taught you to stay constantly alert. This is the slow release of an old attachment to struggle. Contentment is becoming safe for you now, and you do not need to search for hidden problems in every quiet moment. Protect your peace with the same care you once used to protect survival itself, because your peace carries real value. It is part of the abundance entering your life. This is also where your natural connection to the physical world becomes important again. Taurus energy experiences healing through the senses, through softness, beauty, taste, sound, touch, and comfort that feels nourishing rather than excessive. Wear clothes that calm your body, eat slowly enough to enjoy your meals, walk barefoot across warm grass, and let music soften the tension your nervous system has been carrying for years. For you, pleasure is not shallow, it is grounding. The more fully you allow yourself to experience the present moment, the more life responds by opening space for greater comfort and stability. Just as soil sometimes needs a season of stillness before it can grow again, this quieter phase is restoring something essential inside you. What may appear inactive on the surface is still deeply alive underneath. Your roots are drawing in strength even now, preparing you for ownership, stability, and a life no longer built entirely around survival. And during this recalibration, one of the most powerful things you can do is consciously allow yourself to enjoy what is already here. A slow, genuine appreciation for life becomes its own prayer. I receive this goodness. I deserve this comfort. I am ready to live abundantly. Taurus, After years of proving yourself and carrying more than most people ever realized, another quiet shift is beginning inside you. As stability slowly returns and your body finally feels permission to rest, your relationship with value is changing too. This is the invisible renovation happening beneath the surface, the slow release of beliefs that once taught you to cling tightly out of fear everything could disappear overnight. The mindset built around scarcity is softening now, making room for something steadier, calmer, and more expansive. You are not only preparing to receive more resources, you are becoming someone who understands that your presence, your steadiness, and your ability to create safety are valuable in themselves. That transformation takes time because the body has to relearn what security feels like. What you are experiencing now reaches into your nervous system, your habits, and the way you move through everyday life. If you have been feeling tension in your neck or shoulders, a sudden urge to clear your space, or changes in appetite and energy, do not immediately assume something is wrong. Your body is responding to change after years of carrying pressure and proving your worth through constant effort. Now a different rhythm is entering your life, one rooted more in ease than endless strain. The challenge is that old survival patterns often confuse peace with laziness. That is why rest can still trigger guilt, even when your body clearly needs it. But this is not regression. Your system is slowly learning that safety no longer has to be earned through exhaustion, and the version of you emerging now no longer survives by staying tense all the time. This is also why reconnecting with the physical world matters so much in this season. Nature restores balance in ways your body has quietly needed for years, whether through long walks, gardening, touching the earth, or simply sitting beneath a tree in silence. Your energy responds deeply to grounded environments, nourishing foods, and small sensory comforts that remind your nervous system it is finally allowed to soften. Even your cravings may begin shifting toward foods that feel grounding and restorative. Warm meals, fresh fruit, root vegetables, and flavors rich with life are not random desires. They are reminders that this chapter is no longer only about surviving difficult seasons. Sweetness is slowly returning to your life in practical, physical ways. As your inner world changes, your tolerance for discomfort may begin fading too. You may notice harsh environments faster, feel drained by chaotic people more easily, or crave calmer spaces and softer experiences that feel nourishing instead of depleting. This is not you becoming difficult, it is you becoming more discerning about what deserves access to your energy. The compromises that once kept you shrinking yourself no longer fit the level of worth you are growing into. That is why beauty, pleasure, and quality matter now. You are not simply trying to attract wealth anymore, you are learning how to embody stability, self-respect, and peace before they fully appear around you externally. Like a tree widening its rings over time, your growth is happening from the inside outward. There is no need to rush this process or force yourself back into constant overexertion. By caring for your body, honoring your senses, and surrounding yourself with environments that support peace, you create the kind of life abundance naturally wants to enter. You are moving beyond survival now, Taurus. You are beginning to flourish. And this version of you no longer believes worth must be exchanged for exhaustion. What is unfolding in your life is not random luck. It is a quiet rebalancing after years of giving more than you received. The value that was overlooked or drained from you is beginning to return in tangible ways. The energy you invested in people who failed to appreciate you, the work that never fully recognized your effort, and the loyalty you gave to unstable situations were never erased. None of it disappeared unnoticed. A quiet correction is happening now, not through bitterness or revenge, but through restoration and balance. Every burden you carried and every moment you became stability for someone else left an imprint. That is why this chapter feels different. You no longer need to chase acknowledgement or fight endlessly for what belongs to you. The scales are beginning to settle naturally, and life is returning value to you in ways that feel grounded, earned, and deeply real. The energy around your life is beginning to rebalance itself naturally now. You no longer need to chase validation or carry the weight of what was never fully returned to you. That season is fading, and what belongs to you is finding its way back through opportunities, stability, resources, and a deeper peace that cannot easily be shaken. Sometimes the loyalty you gave to someone else's vision returns as something built entirely for you. The patience you carried through difficult years may now rise into recognition, security, or a home where your spirit finally feels safe. Earth energy moves slowly, but it never forgets what was planted, even during seasons when nothing visible seemed to grow. Just because results took time does not mean your efforts were wasted. Beneath the surface, roots were strengthening for something meant to last. What makes this chapter meaningful is that you reached it without losing your softness. You stayed gentle in moments that could have hardened you, and that gentleness became part of what protected your harvest. The abundance returning now carries dignity and permanence. You understand the value of stability because you know what it took to create it. More importantly, you are reaching a place where you no longer apologize for your standards, your boundaries, or your desire for peace. What is arriving now is meant to support both your comfort and the people you love. And Taurus, that is the deeper justice your spirit has been waiting for. As your inner world changes, life around you will begin responding in visible ways. You connect through what is tangible, through things that can be touched, built, and protected. So the signs surrounding this shift will feel practical and real. You may notice repeating numbers like 222, 444, or especially 888 appearing more often. You may find coins unexpectedly, see plants thriving around you, or catch the scent of flowers blooming out of season. These moments are reminders that your environment is beginning to mirror the energy you are growing into. Unexpected opportunities may begin appearing as well. A financial opening, a meaningful investment, or a sudden urge to build something long-term may feel especially important now. These are not random moments. They are early signs that the life you quietly prepared for is beginning to take shape. At the same time, this abundance is asking for stewardship, not excess. What comes toward you now is meant to create safety, legacy, and lasting stability, rather than temporary satisfaction. Your energy has finally aligned with receiving what once felt distant. Taurus energy has always been tied to building things that endure, whether through beauty, resources, land, or the slow cultivation of value over time. When wealth enters your life now, it arrives with purpose. You are being trusted with something that can nourish others, create sanctuary, and bring steadiness into an unstable world. There may still be moments where caution rises inside you. You may wonder whether it is truly safe to relax into this stability. But every setback taught you how to rebuild with greater wisdom, and every difficult season strengthened your ability to create something lasting. When these blessings fully arrive, you will recognize them through the desire to protect and nurture them rather than show them off. You will want a home that feels peaceful, welcoming, and secure. That is how you will know this abundance carries real blessing behind it. So when the signs appear, resist overanalyzing them. Simply breathe and say, I accept this value. Treat what enters your life with respect and allow yourself to enjoy quality, comfort, and experiences that genuinely nourish your spirit. And when generosity rises naturally inside you, trust that you are giving from a source that is no longer running dry. Taurus, you were never meant to survive on scraps. You were meant to build warmth, create stability, and welcome abundance in a way that allows others to gather beside you. Taurus, the moment you chose your peace over other people's approval, something powerful began shifting beneath the surface of your life. Doors that once felt closed started opening through your own steady self-respect and quiet endurance. This season is no longer about proving your worth through exhaustion. It is about gathering what you spent years building with patience and loyalty. A financial and emotional expansion is beginning to form around you now, not because you chased it desperately, but because you stayed rooted like an old oak tree that survived every season without abandoning itself. Abundance is settling into your life naturally, and your role now is simply to remain grounded enough to receive it. What if this miracle is not asking for more struggle at all? What if life is finally asking you to stop carrying everything alone? The sacrifices, the late nights, and the hope you protected through uncertain years were never forgotten. So loosen your grip a little now. Let your body breathe and trust that what belongs to you no longer needs constant fighting. You do not need to minimize your blessings or explain why you deserve them. Stability is not something you have to apologize for anymore. You are stepping into the role of someone who creates lasting security instead of endlessly searching for permission to receive it. Allow yourself to experience comfort without guilt and abundance without fear. When these blessings become visible, let them stand as proof of what patience and integrity can build over time. This is not random luck. This is the harvest that grew from years of unseen roots strengthening beneath the surface. The foundation opening before you now exists because you refused to give up on yourself during difficult seasons. So ask yourself what you want to build with this new stability. Who will feel safer because of the peace you create? How will your wisdom and presence bring more beauty and security into the lives around you? Your abundance carries purpose beyond personal gain. Every difficult season was shaping you into someone capable of holding lasting stability without losing yourself inside it. That is why you kept going, even when life felt heavy. You are not only being blessed, Taurus, you are being established. Take a slow breath and fully arrive in this moment. If this message resonates with you, comment below and say, "I claim my abundance, I am secure, I am the builder." And if this message speaks to your spirit, like this video and subscribe so you continue receiving guidance that supports your peace, growth, and prosperity. If it feels right, place your hand over your heart and whisper softly, "Lord, I am ready to receive the harvest. Teach me to care for this abundance wisely, and let my life become a place of peace and provision." You have never been forgotten, Taurus. Your roots have been growing this entire time, and now your season of blooming is beginning.